Hi guys! So in this review session, we're going to discuss about optimization and time rates. So in here, we are going to solve different problems involving optimization and time rates, which are the two common applications of derivatives. Okay, let us start with optimization. So take note that in optimization problem, there are different geometric formulas that are needed in solving problems, particularly on area, perimeter, circumference, volume, and surface area of geometric figures. Okay? So these formulas will be used in solving problems, particularly geometric problems. So let us try to solve this first problem. Find two positive numbers whose product is 196 and the sum of the first number and 4 times the second number is a minimum. So sabi dyan, two positive numbers ng product is 196. So we can first represent the two numbers as x and y. So let x equals the first number and let y be the second number. So the problem states that the product of the two positive numbers is 196. So meaning x times y is equal to 196. And in solving optimization problem, we need to express one variable in terms of the other variable. So we will solve for y in terms of x. It means that y equals 196 over x. Okay? So this will be our second number when y is expressed in terms of x. Okay? So, sabi dun sa problem, the sum of the first number, which is x, and 4 times the second number. Ang second number natin is yung 196 all over x. So, simplify lang natin. So, we have x plus 4 times 196 is equal to 784 over x. Okay? Then, since we are going to differentiate this, we are going to transform the fractional term into negative exponent para mas mapadali yung pagkuha natin ng derivative. So, s becomes x plus 784 x to the negative 1, right? Because when positive exponent of a variable is moved to the numerator, the sign of the exponent will change. So from positive, it becomes negative. So now, we can now solve for the derivative of s. Therefore, we have s prime is equal to derivative of x is 1, and derivative of 784x to the negative 1 is negative 784, x negative 1 minus 1, negative 2. Or, in simplest form, that is 1 minus 784 all over x squared. So after getting the derivative of the given function, we're going to find a critical number by equating the derivative to 0. Meaning we have 1 minus 784 over x squared equals 0. Then, to solve for x squared, we will, to solve for x, we will multiply both sides by x squared. So x squared times 1 is x squared. So this will be cancelled. So what is left is 784. So minus 784. Then 0 times x squared is 0. Then solve for x. We have x squared equals positive 784. Then extract the square root. So we have x equals positive negative square root of 784. And we know that the square root of 784 is what? Positive negative 28. Okay, but we are talking of the positive numbers, sabi sa problem. So therefore, ang x natin is positive 28. Okay. Then, to find the second number rather, we will use y equals 196 over x. So our x is 28. So we have 196 divided by 28 equals 7. Okay, so therefore, the two numbers are 28 and 7. So to check if it is really the minimum, you can find the second derivative of the function and substitute the critical numbers, and it will give you what? Greater than 0. This means that the value is minimum. Okay? How about the second problem? A piece of wire 80 centimeters long is bent to form a rectangle. Find the dimensions of the rectangle so that its area is as large as possible. Meaning to say, we are talking of the maximum area. So sabi sa problem, we have uh, 80 centimeters long wire which is to be bent to form a rectangle. So this means that 80 centimeters is the perimeter of the rectangle that will be formed by by bending the wire. So therefore, P is equal to 80 centimeters. Okay? So since we are talking of the rectangle, we know that the formula to find the perimeter of the rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And since we have the value of the perimeter, which is the length of wire, yung 80 centimeters, so we can equate 2L plus 2 width equals 80. Then since all the terms are divisible by 2, we can divide both sides by 2. So 2L divided by 2 is L, 2W divided by 2 is W, and 80 divided by 2 is 40. Okay, again, we will solve for one variable in terms of the other. Let's say L, so therefore L is equal to 40 minus the width by transposition. Okay, so since we are talking of the area, and we know that the area of the rectangle is given by length times width. Okay, so length times width. Okay, so our length is equal to 40 minus W. So 40 minus W times the width. Dapat kasi express natin as one variable only. So 40 minus W times W by distributive property is 40 W, then W times W is W squared. Okay, then yan yung ating i-differentiate. We have A equals 40W minus W squared. So we have derivative of 40W is 40 and derivative of W squared is 2W. And then we will equate this to 0. So we have 40 minus 2W equals 0. Therefore, we have 2W equals 40. So dividing both sides by 2. So 40 divided 2 is 20. So therefore, our W or width is 20 centimeters. And the length will be equal to 40 minus W, which is equal to 20, which is equal to 40 minus 20. And that is also 20 centimeters. So therefore, our answer is the dimension of the rectangle that will give the largest possible area is 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. This means that the rectangle that will be formed is a square. Since in geometry, we know that a square is also a rectangle. Okay? Third problem, two adjacent rectangular pens, as shown in the figure below, will be enclosed by a 150 meters fencing material. So determine the largest possible area for the pens. Okay, first we are going to consider the perimeter of the rectangular pens because that perimeter is equal to the length or the amount of the fencing material. And we know that to find the perimeter, we simply what? Add the sides. Okay, so we have here x plus x plus y plus x plus x plus y, and since we are going to also to fence also the inner part, which is y, So, i-add din natin yan. Okay? So, therefore, we have x plus x plus x plus x is 4x, and y plus y plus y is 3y. Okay? And we know that the perimeter is equal to the amount of fencing material. So, we can equate 4x plus 3y to 150. Okay? So, we're solving for y. Okay? So, solve natin yung value ng y. Diyan sa given equation, we have 3y equals 150 minus 4x. Dividing both sides by 3. Therefore, y is equal to 150 minus 4x all over 3. So, yan ang ating value ng y. Okay. Since we are also talking of the area ng rectangular fence, so, area, therefore, and since we know that the area is equal to length times width, since this is rectangle, but in the given, ang length natin is what? 2x. And ang width natin, y. So, this means that A is equal to length, which is 2x, times the width, y. Okay? So, simple substitution lang. So, A equals 2x times the value of y. Ang y natin, yung 150 minus 4x over 3. Okay? So, ilabas na lang natin yung fraction na 2/3. Then, i-distribute yung x. So, x times 150, that is 150x. And x times negative 4x is negative 4x squared. Yan. Then, kunin natin ang derivative. So, we have a prime is equal to, since constant na yan, disregard, copy lang. So, derivative ng 150x is 150. And derivative ng 4x squared is 8x. So, yan ang ating a prime. Okay? And then, we will equate it to 0. So, therefore, we have 2/3 times 150 minus 8x equals 0. So, i-multiply natin both sides by 3. So, makakancel yung 3. So, that means we have 2 times 150 minus 8x equals 0. Distributive property, 2 times 150 is 300. Then, 2 times 8 is 16. Ayan. And then, i-solve lang natin yung x. So, meaning we have 16x is equal to 300. So, 300 divided by 16 is equal to what? Calculator. We have 300 divided by 16, 75 over 4. So, we have 75 over 4. Yan ang x natin. But, we also need to find the value of y para makuha natin yung area. Okay. So, we have y equals 150. Sorry. Y equals 150 minus 4 times x, 75 over 4 divided by 3. So, galing yun doon sa value ng y na 150 minus 4x over 3. And since ang ating x is 75 over 4, nag-substitution na tayo dyan. So, y equals, so we have 150. So, yung 4 makakancel. Okay, cancel yung 4 dyan. Titira si 75. So, 150 minus 75 divided by 3. So, we have y equals 75, right? Over 3, which is equal to 25. Okay, 25. Okay. So, ano na ang ating area? Ano yung magiging area natin? Alam natin ang formula to find the area sa given situation ay ito. A equals 2xy. So, multiply lang natin. A equals 2 times the value of x, 75/4, times the value of y, which is 25. Ayan lang. Multiply nyo lang yan. And the result is equal to 1,875 all over 2, or approximately 937.5 meters squared. So, 937.5. So, yan yung ating answer. Yan yung largest possible area given do sa situation sa problem natin. Okay, we have the fourth problem. An open-topped rectangular box is to be constructed from 10 inches by 15 inches cardboard by cutting out squares at each of the four corners of the cardboard. The sides will be folded up and sealed to form the box. Find the length of the side of the square to be cut so that the box will have a maximum volume. Okay. So sabi sa problem, yung length daw ng box is 15 inches and ang width natin is 10 inches. Okay, it will be cut sa side. Yan, ikakat yan to form an open-topped rectangular box. So, yan yung ating x. So, yan yung hinahanap natin. Yung value ng x or yung length ng side ng square to be cut that will produce a box which has maximum volume. Okay, so since this is, we have what? Cut x and x sa left and right corner ng rectangle, may madededuct sa length niya na 2x. So, magiging 15 minus 2x na lang yung kanyang magiging length ng box. Dito naman, syempre, 10 minus 2x kasi x plus x din yung nadeduct sa width niya. So, we know that to form a box, we have the length, width, and the height. And the height is the what? The side of the square. Kasi yun yung ifo-fold up. So, we know that the volume of a rectangular box or rectangular prism is length times width times height. So, simply multiply lang natin 15 minus 2x times the width, which is 10 minus 2x, times the height, which is x. So, we have 15 minus 2x. So, 10 times x is 10x. Then, negative 2x times x is negative 2x squared. Okay, so therefore, the volume is 15 times 10x is 150x. Then, 15 times negative 2x squared is negative 30x squared. So, negative 2x plus times 10x is negative 20x squared. And negative 2x times negative 2x squared is positive 4x cubed. So, therefore, we have v is equal to 4x cubed. I-arrange lang natin. Then, negative 30x squared minus 20x squared is negative 50. Then, plus 150x. So, ayan. So, yan ang volume natin. Yung expression of volume is 4x cubed minus 50x squared plus 150x. Then, we have to find the derivative of this. So, v prime is what? 4x cubed is 12x squared. Then 50x squared is 100x plus 150. Okay, and then by factoring, so para mas mapadali siguro, we can have the common factor. What is the common factor of this? I think we have 150 divided by 2, right? So 2. So we have common factor of 2, then 6x squared minus 50x plus 75. So, ayan, equate lang natin yung derivative sa 0, right? So, we have 2. Okay, by the way, sige, erase muna natin. Baka magkalito-lito. So, ito ng value ng v prime, ang equate na agad natin sa 0. So, we have 12x squared minus 100x plus 150 equals 0 para makuha yung critical number. So, we can divide all the terms by 2. That's why we have 6x squared. Then minus 50x kasi 100 divided 2 is 50. And 150 divided 2 is 75. Ayan. So, it will be factored if it is factorable. So, ifa-factor natin. What will be the factor of 6x squared minus 50x plus 75? Okay, I think it is not factorable, so we are going to use the quadratic formula. Okay, so 6x squared minus 50x plus 75. Okay, so we have 6x squared minus 50x plus 75 equals 0. So we will use quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And this is our a, b, and c. Okay? Simple substitution. So negative b. So b is negative 50. So therefore it becomes positive 50 plus minus. So b squared. So we have negative 50 squared minus 4 times a, which is 6 times c, which is 75. All over 2 times 6. So x is equal to 50 plus or minus square root of negative 50 squared is 2,500 minus 4 times 6 times 75 is equal to 1/8 all over 2 times 6, 12. So it follows that x is equal to 50 plus or minus square root of, so we have 700 all over 12. And then we have x equals 50 plus or minus, since 700 can be factored as 100 times 7 all over 12. Therefore, we have x equals 50 plus or minus square root of 100 is 10 square root of 7 all over 12. We divide all the terms by 2, including the denominator. So 50 divided by 2 is 25 plus or minus 10 divided by 2 is 5 square root of 7 all over 6. Okay, and then you can now use your calculator. So we have 25 plus is 5 square root of 7 divided by 6, which is equal to, so yung first x natin, if it is plus, it is equal to 6.37. Okay, sorry. So 6.37. And yung kabila naman, kapag 25 minus is equal to 1.96. So 1.96. Okay, there are two possible value of x. So, alin sa palagay nyo ang gagamitin natin dito? Yung 6.37 or yung 1.96? Okay, tingnan natin yung problem. Di ba sabi doon sa problem, ang width natin is 10 inches. E kaso di ba kung gagamitin natin yung 6.37, meaning ang makakat natin dun sa part ng width is 6.37 plus 6.37 is 12.74, more than 10. Mas malaki pa yung makakat dun sa total na width. Meaning, it is impossible. So therefore, ang ating value ng x ay yung may subtraction. So we have 25 minus 5 is square root of 7 over 6, or what? 1.96 inches. Okay, when you use the second derivative test, so it will prove that at x equals 1.96 inches, it will give the maximum volume of the rectangular box. Okay, we have the next problem. A stone projected vertically upward with initial velocity of 112 feet per second moves according to the equation s equals 112t minus 16t squared, where s is the distance from the starting point. Compute the greatest height reached. So how we are going to do that? So it's very simple. The given equation is the position function. So s equals 112t minus 16t squared is called the position function. And when we get the derivative of this, s prime, which is 112 minus 32t, and this is called the velocity function. Okay, itong velocity function ang gagamitin natin to find the greatest height attained by the stone. Okay, so when you throw a stone upward, yan, at this point, this is the highest or greatest height attained by the stone, and before it falls, it will stop. Meaning to say, at the greatest height, the velocity is 0 feet per second. Okay, so therefore, we can equate the equation of the velocity to 0, because at v equals 0, it attains the greatest height. So therefore, we have 112 minus 32t equals 0. So therefore, 32t is equal to 112. Solving for t, therefore, 112 divided by 32 is equal to 7 over 2, which is 3.5. So, 3.5 seconds. So, meaning to say, at 3.5 seconds, the stone reaches its greatest height. So, the greatest height will be s of 3.5. So, substitute nyo lang. We have 112 times 3.5 minus 16 times 3.5 squared. So we have 112 times 3.5 equals 392. So we have 392 minus 3.5 squared times 16 equals 196. And 392 minus 196 is 196. So 196 feet is the greatest height attained by the stone. Okay, now let us proceed to solving time rates or related rates problems. Okay, let us take this problem. Air is being released from a spherical balloon where the radius is changing at the rate of 2 centimeters per second. How fast is the volume of the balloon decreasing when the volume of the balloon is 30 centimeters cube? Okay, so we identify first the given here. So the given are what? So given yung rate at which the radius is changing. So derivative of radius with respect to time is equal to what? Positive 2 centimeters per second or negative? So it should be negative. So negative 2 centimeters per second. So why is it negative? Because a spherical balloon ang pinag-usapan natin and the air is being released. It means that while the air is releasing, the volume of the balloon is what? Decreasing also. So meaning, nagdi-decrease din yung radius kasi lumiliit yung balloon. Okay, that is why the the rate at which the radius is changing is negative. So, negative 2 centimeters per second. And then, sabi doon, meron pang isang given. The volume of the balloon is 30 centimeters cube. V equals 30 centimeters cube. Okay. In this problem, we need the radius. Okay, but there is no given radius, but the given is the volume. Since we are talking of the spherical balloon, the formula for the volume is 4/3 pi r cube. We are going to solve for r here. Substitution lang, ang b natin is 30. So 30 equals 4/3 pi r cube. So multiply lang natin by 3. 30 times 3 is 900 equals 4 pi r cube. Then divide both sides by 4 pi. We have r cube equals 900 divided by 4 pi. So therefore, we have r is equal to cube root of 900 divided by 4 pi, which is equal to what? So we solve. So we have cube root of 900 divided by 4 pi, which is equal to what? Okay, sorry, it should be 90. So 30 times 3, 90. So we have 90. So 94 pi. So we have cube root of 90 divided by 4 pi. And that is equal to 1.93. So therefore, the radius is 1.93 centimeters. So ayan. So kunin natin yung derivative ng volume with respect to time. So which 4/3 pi r cube. So we have dv over dt. And we have 4 over 3 pi. Derivative of r cube is 3r squared times dr over dt. So we have dv over dt is equal to 4/3 pi times 3r squared is equal to 4 pi r squared times dr over dt. Why? Because 3 will be cancelled. Ayan, so magsasubstitution na lang tayo. We are talking of the volume, right? So dv over dt is equal to 4 so 4 pi, then r is 1.93 squared times dr over dt. Ang dr over dt is negative 2. So therefore, we have dv over dt equals, so multiply lang natin yan. So 4 pi times 1.93 squared times negative 2. That will be equal to negative 93.62. So negative 93.62 cubic centimeters per second. So ayan na, yan yung sagot natin. The rate at which the volume of the balloon is decreasing is 93.62 cubic centimeters per second. So remember guys, in sentence form, pag sinabi kasi natin the rate at which the volume of the balloon is decreasing, that will be 93.62. Pero kung numerical answer lang yung hinahanap natin, we'll put the negative. So we have dv over dt is equal to negative 93.62 cubic centimeters per second. Okay, the next problem, the altitude of a triangle is increasing at a rate of 8 centimeters per second while its area is increasing at the rate of 12 centimeters squared per second. At what rate is the base of the triangle changing when the altitude is in 20 centimeters and the area is 100 centimeters squared? So we first identify the given. So we will represent the altitude as h and the base as b. The area is a. So sabi doon, the altitude of the triangle is increasing at the rate of 8 centimeters per second. This means that dh over dt is positive 8 centimeters per second. Next, and the area is increasing. So we have dA over dt equals positive 12 centimeters squared per second. And then, there's another given here na hindi lang implied. Yung base, pwede kasi nating masolve using the formula of the area. Alam naman natin ang area ng triangle equals 1/2 base times height. And we have the given area, which is 100 times 1/2 times the base. And the height is 20. So we have 100 equals 20 divided by 2 is 10 times b, 10b. Follows that b equals 100 divided 10 is 10. So meron tayong base na 10 centimeters. Okay, the question is, at what rate is the base of the triangle changing? So ang hinahanap natin pala dito ay yung db over dt. Okay, derivative of b with respect to time. So paano natin masosolve yan? So simple lang naman, we'll use the implicit differentiation to. So 1/2 base times height. So derivative of a is dA over dt. Then we will use the implicit differentiation because with respect to time, and then the product rule. So labas na natin 1/2 dyan. So derivative of b is, we have db over dt, copy yung h, plus copy yung b, times derivative of h, dh over dt. So product rule yung ginamit natin dyan. So ayan, pwede na yan. Then magsasubstitution na tayo. So ano yung ating dA over dt? That is 12. So you have 1/2. Wala tayong dv over dt. Yun yung missing. Then ang ating h is equal to what? The altitude. So 20. Plus, ang b natin is 10. Then, ang dh over dt is 8. Ayan. So, solve lang. Multiply na agad natin yung both sides by 2 para mawala yung denominator na 2. So, 2 times 12, 24. And we have 20 times dv over dt plus 80. So, ayan. Transpose lang yung 80. We have 24 minus 80 is equal to 20 dv over dt. Ayan. So, 24 minus 20 is equal to what? 56. So, negative 56. So, nawala na. Okay, negative 56 equals 20 dB dt. And divide both sides by 20. And so we have, okay, so we have dB over dt equals negative. So 56 divided by 20 equals negative 2.8. So negative 2. Sorry. So negative 2.8 centimeters per second. So, second. Ayan. So, ito ang answer natin. So, negative 2.8 centimeters per second. Meaning to say, the base of the triangle is what? Decreasing at the rate of 2.8 centimeters per second. Okay, we have the next problem. A ladder 10 meters long is leaning against a vertical wall. If its foot is given a push at the rate of 2 meters per minute towards the wall, how fast is its top sliding up the wall when it is 6 meters from the ground? Okay, so when we illustrate this, okay, kapag in-illustrate natin yan, if this is the wall, ito yung ladder natin, yan, sabi doon, the ladder is 10 meters, is leaning against a vertical wall. If its foot is given a push, yung foot ng ladder will be pushed towards the wall. Okay, at the rate of 2 meters per minute. Meaning to say, the base, kung magkakaroon tayo ng right triangle dyan, magiging base formed by the ladder and the wall, what? Is decreasing. So, let's say this is A. So X, X. With respect to time, decreasing siya. So, negative 2 meters per minute. Kasi it will be pushed towards. So, paikli ng paikli. Okay? Yung distance from the wall to the foot of the ladder. So, it means negative 2 meters per minute. So, how fast it is stop sliding up the wall? Okay, meaning from the bottom up to the top, nag-increase naman kasi it will slide upward. So, meaning to say, yung y natin ang what? Missing. So, magsosolve muna tayo. So, given dyan, how fast is it stop sliding up the wall when it is 6 meters from the ground? 6 meters from the ground daw. Alin dyan yung 6 meters? How fast is it stop sliding up the wall when it is 6 meters from the ground? That will be the vertical, right? Ito yung 6. So, solve muna natin yung ating x. By Pythagorean theorem, we have x squared plus 6 squared equals 10 squared. So 10 squared. So we have x squared plus 36 is equal to 100. Therefore, we have x squared equals 100 minus 36, which is equal to 64, giving you 8. Okay? So x equals 64. Square root of 64 is 8. Yan. So, balik lang tayo dun sa ating equation. X squared plus y squared equals, kumbaga yung hypotenuse natin, pwede man natin gamitin yung 10. So, para hindi naman 10 squared. Get the derivative of this. So, we have 2x times dx over dt. Derivative of y squared is 2y times dy over dt. Then, constant 0. By substitution lang, so we have 2. The value of x is equal to 8. Then, dx over dt is negative 2 plus 2. Then, the value of y is 6 times dy over dt. Yan yung hinahanap. So, 2 times 8 times negative 2 is negative 32 plus 12 dy over dt equals 0. So, we have 12 dy over dt equals negative 32 transpose to the right positive. So, divide both sides by 12. So, dy over dt is equal to 32 divided by 12, which is equal to 8 over 3 or 2.67. So, gamitin natin fraction. Simple fraction naman siya. 8 over 3 meters per minute. So, as you can see, positive siya. Kasi sabi nga doon sa problem, the top is sliding up. Okay, pataas. So, ibig sabihin, nag-i-increase yung distance from the ground to the top of the ladder. That is why the rate is positive. So, 8 over 3 meters per minute. Or kung ide-decimal, it will be equal to 2.67 approximately. Okay, the next problem is this about conical tank. Water is being emptied from a conical tank with a height of 12 feet and a radius of 4 feet at the rate of 4 feet cubed per minute. How fast is the water depth decreasing when the depth is 6 feet? Okay, so first we identify the given. So sabi dun sa problem, the water is being emptied from 12 feet ang height. So, the height is 12 feet. And the radius is 4 feet. Okay. So, sabi sa problem, it is emptied at a rate of 4 feet cubed per minute. Meaning to say that is the derivative of the volume with respect to time. But since from the word empty, so nagbabawas. So meaning the rate of the volume is decreasing. So we have negative 4 feet cube per minute. Then how fast is the water depth decreasing? So ang hinahanap ay height with respect to time. Yan ang missing. When the depth is 6 feet. So kung ang height daw ay 6 feet. Ayan, kung ganon. Sige, ito in this portion. Ayan, ang height ay 6 feet. Okay. So again, we will use, since there are two variables here, the height and the radius, we will express the radius in terms of height by simply using the principle of similar triangle. So yan kasi yun. So you have 4 and this is 12. Ayan, and then this is our radius, this is our height. So magse-set up lang tayo ng proportion. We know that we have 4 over 12 is equal to r over h, or 1/3 is equal to r over h, making it h is equal to 3r. Therefore, r is equal to h over 3. So yan ang value ng radius natin, h over 3. Okay, so magsosolve na tayo. The volume of the cone is given by 1/3 pi r squared height. Therefore, we have v equals 1/3 pi, and our radius is h over 3. So h over 3 squared height. So therefore, we have v equals 1/3 pi h squared over 9 times h, which is equal to pi h cubed over 27, right? Because h squared times h is h cubed times pi, then 3 times 9 is 27. So i-differentiate lang natin yung b equals pi h cubed over 27, and that will be equal to dv over dt is equal to 3 pi h squared over 27 dh dt. Simplify lang natin. So dv over dt equals 3 over 27 is 19. So we have pi h squared over 9 times dh over dt. Yan. So ang hinahanap natin dyan, yung dh over dt. Substitution na lang tayo. So ang dv over dt natin is negative 4. So we have negative 4 pi. Ang height natin is 6 feet. Okay? Yung 6 feet ang gagamitin natin. So times 6 dh over dt. So 6 squared all over 9. So multiply natin by 9 both sides. So negative 4 times 9 is 36. So negative 36. So we have 36 pi, right? dh over dt. And then what you are going to do next is to divide both sides by 36 pi. So we have 36 pi and 36 pi. Therefore, our dh over dt equals, kasi makakancel na to, so yung 36 makakancel, we have negative 1 over pi. Ang unit natin, it is what? Since height yan, feet per minute. Feet per minute. So, negative 1 over pi. So, yan yung answer natin. Kung gusto nyo namang i-decimal yan, ang decimal form niyan ay, ito ibabox ko na lang kasi wala nang space. Ang decimal form niyan is negative 0.32 feet per minute. So, ayan. Double natin para malito. So, negative 0.32. So, meaning to say, kapag in-state natin yan in sentence, we can say that the water depth is decreasing at the rate of 0.32 feet per minute. Tinatanggal natin yung negative kasi sinabi na natin na decreasing. Okay? Okay, we have the last problem. A stone is dropped into a lake and makes a circular ripples over the surface of the water. If the radius of each circle is increasing at the rate of 10 inches per second, how fast is the area of the circle formed by the ripple increasing when the radius is 20 inches? So, alam naman natin ang ripple, di ba? If this is the lake, kapag nag-throw tayo ng stone dyan, yan, so it will form circles, pattern of circles na ganyan, and that is called the ripples. Yan yung ripples. So, sabi sa problem, the radius is increasing at the rate of 10 inches per second. That is dr over dt equals 10 inches per second. Ang hinahanap kasi dyan, the rate at which the area is increasing. And we have dA over dt ang missing. So, solve lang natin using the formula of the area, pi r squared. So, getting the derivative, so dA over dt is equal to 2 pi r dr over dt. By substitution, we have dA over dt equals 2 pi. The radius is 20 inches, sabi sa problem. Dr over dt is 10. And that is equal to dA over dt. 2 pi times 20 times 10 is 400 pi. So the answer is 400 pi inch squared per second. Or in decimal, it is in decimal, it is equal to 1,256.64 inches squared per second. Ayan, so yan yung ating sagot. 1,256.64 inches squared per second. So I hope na-gets ninyo kahit paano yung how to solve problems involving optimization and related rates. Thank you.